back, folks. It is now the middle of October. It is 15th. You can see it's looking rather like autumn now. Alright, it's well and truly underway. Loads of leaf litter. It's just gone about 4 o'clock in the evening. We're just down. Just got the gear down. Just time to make decisions on peg choice, which I still see a lot of people struggle with. Definitely locations, everything, especially this time of year, as the fish are starting to slow down. Got to be on them. Got to know where they are, what they're wanting. And the last couple of days been a lot of fish on the surface, to be honest. And judging by that and all the scum in the margins here, certainly looks like that's where they are. There's an odd patch of fizzing coming up. It definitely followed this wind. Was the same yesterday. It's southeasterly blowing into this corner in peg 5. Not going to set up in here actually. The wind tomorrow and through the night is to get strong through the night. There's a bit of rain coming in. It's changed to southwesterly, which will be pushing up into the opposite corner down here. But at the moment, clearly these fish have followed this. Obviously whatever food is coming off with the leaves off the trees. There's obviously some sort of hatch on. You can see the scum in the water. But I think after walking around, again, too many people rock up to the lake and know where they're fishing before they've even had a look. You know, if I was only here for the evening, this is where I'd be. The fact that I'm going to be here tonight, into tomorrow, and the winds to change, it's I think we need to be thinking about what's going to happen next, what's going to happen tonight. So I think I'm going to go into peg 7 here. Still gives me the option for this corner off 6. And this obviously is now a double peg. It's really not 7 and 6, it's only 6 or 7, whatever you want to call it, till we get these pegs named and all sorted out this winter. But say, still gives me the option that if they are in here and they're showing, I can put a rod in this peg down into the corner, even maybe try off the surface, because the fish are definitely clearly up. You can't really make them out, but there's been a few fish cruising along just through the edge of the ripple here. So we might try to put a few floaters in first of all. But I say this peg gives me the options, obviously for tomorrow. If those fish do move in the wind again tomorrow and move in the southwesterly, which is going to be pushing down in this corner, peg 9, which I had thought about going on to, but it just looks devoid of fish, to be honest. At the moment there's not a sign of life. So this sort of gives us in the middle, gives us about a few options. Obviously westerly, you always find, obviously coming this way, you get a sort of a calm area off the island where the two ripples meet, and that usually produces fish. Again, the food gathers there as it's moving around the island by the wind and the current. So this sort of gives me both options. I don't want to tie myself into that corner in case the fish clearly don't move on it. Obviously we could move, but it's a lot handier once you're set up just to fish away. Right, we shall go get this lot unloaded and get set up, unless I see something in the next 5 minutes. I think this is where we're going to be. But just say, take a wee walk around the lake, having a wee look, speaking to myself or other anglers, see what's been showing, what's been happening, keeping an eye on things, just before you make your decisions. Can make a big difference. Chat to you in a bit. There we go. There's fish number 2 actually this evening. A lovely scaly mare. Absolute cracking autumn colours on it. Beautiful. That's the second one. Again, that fish is just over £10. About a 10.5 common as well. Just about 10 minutes ago. Again, both fish came off the surface. So we ended up setting up in peg 7 where we were. So both those came off the surface. Just feeding a few floaters in. One rod out in the bottom just to the right, but nothing in it yet. But that's a good start to the session. 2 double figure carp. Can provide that. It's a beautiful morning. Apologies about the lack of video from last night. I did do a piece after dark, but the rain was coming down so hard you actually could hardly hear me on it, so that wasn't much use. As predicted, that wind swung around last night to southwesterly, got very strong, and the rain, well, it didn't half rain, it absolutely lashed all night. You can see it's like a different lake today. There's no leaf litter, there's no, everyone's obviously pushed up into the top corner up here, up where the wind was pushing up in. But there was some rain last night. You can see even here, like, just judging by the puddle on the top of the bucket. Said absolutely lashed, and everything's covered in leaves, looking rather like autumn. So actually part of the daily task at the minute is clearing under this fence with a leaf blower. This is the time of year where you're going to get a lot of, or a bigger chance of predation. Obviously as food starts to get scarce in the wild coming into winter time, you're going to get a lot more, let's say, risk of otters. So now's the time you need to be vigilant. We spend every day, we walk around the fence every day just to make sure nothing's been trying to get in or nothing's been up to no good. And let's say clearing the leaves, the leaf blower below them. Anywhere we can't get cleared and get rid of them, we'll have to lift them. You can see already this morning I cleared that all yesterday, it's already starting to build up again. Luckily we run a mains fencer, which does generally, it takes a lot to earth it out, but if the leaves build up on it and you get a wet light like last night, for example, it would earth out, basically render the fence useless. So, well, it's a good start to the day. Two more fish last night. To those two you saw, I had another comment on a small mare, one off each rod actually. It was raining that hard, I just left the rods in. I didn't even bother putting them back out again. It's just broke daylight. The sun's coming up. It's going to be a cracker by the look of it. We want to make the most of these days. Not many more of them left this year. But what have we been up to the last couple of weeks? I did a session last week. Actually ended up with well, the biggest fish to come out of the lake for a few years now. 14.8. Lovely mare. Again, I had a picture of that one from 2 years ago. It was October 2 years ago, and there was no weight on it, but it looked in around the 8 pound mark, 9 pound. So again, a growth rate of 4 to 5 pound in the last 2 years is phenomenal. Again, just proves all that hard work's worth it. It's going the right way. Also, the stock pond you just saw me talking about in the last vlog that I showed you, decided to spring a leak. It's just part of the bank, it hadn't been dug out quite right, so we had to go back in. We drained it. Luckily we got 2 or 3 dry days last week and got in with the digger and dug that out and got that fixed. So that's all now. Say it's sitting about 3/4 full there at the moment, and it's holding its level. Got a little bit of the landscaping done around it. It's actually up on top of this bank. You can see it's, well, there was last week, or the last session you done, you just seen those piles of soil tipped right around it, but we got it all leveled up until I decided to bust one of the tracks in the digger, which, well, would have held us back, but the rain came anyway, so it really didn't matter. But we got that fixed yesterday. Nice new track on, so that's that up and going again, ready for me to come up with more crazy ideas. But it's looking good. A bit of fizzing it on. So definitely those fish last night, any fish that I heard crashing had followed, and you can see there's another one that's just topped. I'm sure you can quite see that, but we'll walk up to the next peg. Another one I say just topped up in this corner. The fish have definitely moved on it. They've definitely followed that wind as we predicted they would. A little bit of fizzing going on up there. But it says a couple of fishes crashed out at the back of the island as well, so that's obviously we're with one rod. I'd say it's amazing how all those leaves can just sort of disappear nearly. I say even up in the corner there's not as many as you'd expected this morning, judging by what was on the surface yesterday. Obviously a lot of them sunk. Again, why we were on about using the PVA, the reef nuggets. last session. You know, all those leaves you saw yesterday are now on the bottom. So again, you're casting it over the top of that. You want to make sure you're not buried in it, or your hook link is, or your hook bait is buried. Well, it's looking good this morning. Just got Susie's still tucked up. What'd you say? You're not coming out? No. You've got a cup of coffee. Right. I'm gonna go drink this coffee. And we'll see what the rest of the day produces. I'll chat to you in a bit. You can see this is the corner here where we had the lake. We have a bottom drain on it, so we're able to knock a pipe over and drain it out. But we seem to have, as I say, sorted that out. We've got it sort of half landscape, but it's just a little bit messy to be working at the moment. We have to get some dry weather, as you can see. It's sort of sticky. But once we get it sorted, that should look the part and do its job. There we go. That's a nice start to the morning. Nice chunky comment. You can see the shoulders in that one. It's going to be a lump someday. Just took a wee walk down to Peg 9. It's just after lunchtime. Just had a bite to eat. Fishing's been slow. I've had one more this morning, one more murre. That's been it. Did have the rods in for a while up doing bits and pieces, but they're back out now. But just took a walk down to Peg 9, and you can see in the margins shoals of some sort of daphnia and water flea, whatever you want to call it. There is literally millions of them. Millions of them. It's all part of the carp's natural diet. Why on days when the fishing can be so difficult, this is one of the reasons most carp will just be mullering that huge shoals of it. Unfortunately, it's something we just can't compete with. Part of nature. Right along this margin is just absolutely teeming with it. When the fish are on that, I don't care what anyone says, doesn't matter what you throw at them, you'll not compete with it. It's a bit like fly fishing, you know, fishing for trout. I'm sure many of us have done over the years. If you can find the fly that matches the natural hatch, you'll catch all day long. If you can't match it, you don't have a fly in your box to suit, well then you can chuck it all day, not even so much as a sniff. So definitely those fish will have followed that wind, no doubt about that. So I am considering doing another night, and I think if I am, a move might be in the cards down into that corner. I don't doubt that's where the fish are going to be. Right, we'll go finish our lunch and decide what we're going to do for the rest of the session. Well, through the magic of time travel, it's now the 21st of October, and we're a week ahead of where we were. I left you off there looking at that daphnia and Peg 9 and checking out that swim. I did move up there. Had one more fish, but didn't do the second night. A couple of things came up that I had to go and sort out, and just decided to call it the session to an end as such. But say we're back down. It's a week later. It's now Monday night, and we're back on peg 9 again. It's been a slow bit of fishing the last few days. Fishing's been very, very hard. Been a north wind blowing. Temperatures have plummeted. We've had a couple of sort of ground frosts there the last few nights. It's a little bit milder tonight. A wee bit of cloud covers come in. Gives tomorrow to be cloudy, so hopefully that might pick the fishing up a little bit again. Down there about 5:30, got set up. Time I got set up, it was nearly dark, so decided to leave this little piece. Obviously that's why we have all the lights on in the bivvy. Actually got my, I don't know if some of you have noticed or not, over the last couple of vlogs, I've been back in the Easy Dome, the Fox one. Had a little problem with the Titan hide. Not a fault or anything, just one of them things that a little bit of a rip in one of the stitches. I think it's just been a bad bit of stitching, to be honest. So sent it back, got it replaced, so it's back up and going again. But actually got myself, see that or not, this little sort of bed chair bed from TF Gear. Spotted it one night online, actually on Amazon. 20 quid. It's the next demo one. As far as I know, there's quite a few of them for sale like that. Say for the sake of 20 quid, bring a wee bit of kit, just set up top of your bed chair. Saves the back. You'll see sitting all the time, stooped over, and also see us taking up room with another chair in your bivvy. But we haven't been up to much, so I'll be honest, the past week. Just a bit of maintenance, some wee bits and pieces, just as I was playing earlier, or in the last session, clearing leaves, just keeping on top of everything at this time of year. No big projects coming up at the moment. We have a little bit more work to do to that stock pond, which will hopefully get done in the next, actually if it stays dry in the next few days we might get at that. But I say the roads are out. For all of you who know the lake, we're on peg 9. We've one rod where peg 10 used to be, just in front of it. One in open water. Over scattering of boilies. Not just so much, I've cut back a bit in my bait. I've maybe put 40-50 baits out over each rod. Just a little PVA bag. Again, just with a single boilie in it and a wee nugget of foam. Just to keep us up above that leaf litter. And that's what we're using at the moment. We shall see what the night brings. We'll get a better look at it in the morning. We're going to go get some tea here shortly. We're on stuffed pork chops tonight. We got spotted these in the shop the other night. They're stuffed with curry sauce and onions and some sort of stuffing. They look like good stuff. I'm going to get them into the ridge monkey and see how they go. That's the plan for tonight. But I say it's been a funny old few days fishing. Fishing's been very, very hard. But hopefully this little bit of, I say, slightly milder weather coming in the next couple of days will change that, and we'll get a few fish. But if anything happens, we'll let you know. And if not, we'll get a chat in the morning. Well, good morning. It's been a very quiet night. Not much to report, to be honest. One single bleep about 3 o'clock in the morning, that was it. Plenty of fish thrashing out, but definitely not on the feed. Did put a zig out last night, just a little bit of yellow foam. Me zig liner. These are actually the bank tackle ones. So just on a size 10, but as I say, no joy in that. Just fished that about 4 foot long. So they're handy. They just slide onto the line, slide over the top of the hook. Very, very easy to set up. But I say no joy in that. So they're obviously not on the feed. I think that's cold snap. The last week or so, I say the temperatures have plummeted. But a few frosts. Been down to sort of 2-3 degrees at night. I think that has definitely slowed the fishing right down. So I've changed things around a little bit this morning. I've actually come off the baited patches, tied up a couple of PVA bags of pellets, and I'm fishing a little yellow dumbbell, well, quite a big yellow dumbbell, DNA bait range on one rod, and white dumbbell on the other. Say just a wee PVA bag over feed pellet, just to see. Obviously keep an eye on those baited patches. If I do see any activity over them, then I'll put the rod back on them, but say so far they haven't produced, so we've got to try and do something different, see if we can't entice a bite, and then sort of work it from there. But other than that, it's a lovely morning. All the same, a bit cooler this morning. Well, not just as cool as it has been, to be honest, but definitely cool. But we shall see what the day produces. Hopefully we can get something going here and find out where they are, what they want. Right, we'll go do that. Get some coffee. Try and wake it up a bit. I'll chat to you in a bit. Well, that'll certainly take a while. It's the first one of the session. Nice skilly mare. Yeah, the fish probably fishing 7-8 pound. There she goes. Say it's took a while to get them going. Find out what they wanted and where they wanted it. I'm switching back just to the straight boilies, to be honest. Actually picked that fish off right up and tight to the ice up in here. So I say we tried roaming about, moving about, chopping and changing, but sometimes just sticking to what you know, keeping your confidence up, can eventually pays off. But we'll get this rod back out, see if we can't get any more. Well, it's certainly all kicking off now. It was worth the wait. We've got nice mare and another one. I'm sure that fish there is pushing double figures anyway, definitely. This one probably isn't far off it. Absolutely crazy. Say one fish from last night and then two at once. Shows persevering, doing what you're confident in, sticking to what you know works, and eventually the bites will come. But we'll go. We quick photo of these ones and get them back and get the rods out. Well, those ended up being a couple of cracking fish, 10.5 and 11.5. The biggest of them was that sort of one with the 4 or 5 scales, lovely mare. But no, a couple of cracking fish. A good end of the session, from a hard session to be honest. Say I was set from 5 o'clock last night with nothing, right through till near lunchtime today. We've got that one fish. Say chopped and changed, tried PVA bags, say them wee dumbbells, wee white and yellow dumbbells, casting showing fish, just trying to work out what they wanted. That didn't work, so I actually came off, as I said earlier. Even I didn't go back to those baited patches with the sono activity. I actually put 2 new spots. Say one down that left side again, the lily pads, and one to the right. Both in close, and just literally a scattering of boilies, about 10 to 12 boilies. A few of those chopped up and just crushed in my hand and threw in around it. I think that was probably the biggest mistake last night, was just even 30-40 baits was too much. They're definitely off the feed with this mild or cold snap. I think if the weather turned mild again, yeah, definitely open the bait again. But just from here on in at this time of year, reading the situation, working out or what they want, how much they want, just again being in touch with the water and asking me when you're here, or asking other anglers around the lake, following our Facebook, so on and so forth, just working out what's right for that day. But of course this time of year as well, some days it just doesn't happen. Fish just won't feed. Obviously we're getting into winter now, we're coming towards the end of October. So we've had frosts, ground frosts, water temperature's well down, so it's just the way it's going to be from here on, up and down. Good fishing, bad fishing, we just got to take the good with the bad. But I say it turned out to be an alright session in the end. Done a little bit of underwater there with that little camera that I showed you. Footage there, just exactly how everything sort of reacts in the water with that foam. Just shows the amount of leaves that's actually down there, and I say that's just the margins, and some of the pegs that have a lot more trees around. This peg 9 isn't too bad actually, but some of them have a lot more trees around them. It just shows how much leaf litter is going to be gathering there and what you're actually fishing over. Definitely, once that rig has hit the bottom, no matter where it's a feeder or lead or whatever it is, not moving it. The foam helps, obviously. It gives you that second or two, or however long it takes to melt off, to allow you to set your bobbin and stuff, but definitely making sure that rig does not move, but you're just going to bury it in leaves every time. But I say, as you've seen there actually with that, the way I had it set up, it was just a wee rig that I had lying there, an old one. I just tied it onto a lead and a little bit of line just to demonstrate the margins. But as you saw, it came straight down. Once that foam melted, it just came straight down and landed right on top of the lead, which isn't ideal to be honest, but I didn't have a kicker on it or an anti-tangle sleeve like I would have in all my rigs. All my rigs are tied up with those on them, as you can see. You can imagine then, if that had been set up, unfortunately I have no foam left to demonstrate it in the water, but if that was set up like that, as soon as that goes to drop, you can see straight away there what happens. That anti-tangle sleeve wants to kick it, obviously what it's for, and that's what it's designed for, is to kick that away from the lead, which does work, or does help. Otherwise not kicking down, that's going to land at least the length of that anti-tangle sleeve away from the lead, which is obviously better. We don't really want that. That's definitely, I think the carp would catch on to that. So definitely using one of those on your rigs, especially when you're using foam, or even a PVA bag or anything with foam in it, and it's keeping it buoyant. Definitely you want that kicking away. So you think, I think I'm actually going to try and see if I can source some slightly longer ones of these, maybe even tungsten ones that'll sink out that bit quicker and hopefully force everything down. Obviously it's okay whenever if you're casting out and you're not using foam and you're feeling that lead down, as that hits the surface, if you stop your line in the surface and feel that down, that's coming back, everything's going to be laying out nice and straight. But I say when you're casting out there and you're feeling it down, and that rig's obviously sitting above the lead, you've just seen what happened there. It just fell straight on top of the lead, and fair enough, it may not spook the carp, but I think it would definitely wouldn't help, especially in the slightly clearer water at this time of year. But say, good enough session. Hopefully that'll help you out a little bit. We will do a bit more with that camera as time goes on. I say that was just a wee quick look. I say I ran out of foam actually, I have none left. The next session I'll have some more and we'll give it an hour go. See if I can't look at other wee bits and pieces, or if there's anything you want me to do with it or try and do with it. Let me know. We'll try and do our best to show you what does go on in the margins. Definitely, as I say, that the amount of leaf litter is crazy. It just shows not moving and keeping everything. It make a big difference to your fishing. So it opened my eyes there just again how that landed. We never really thought of that. We thought that would always just fell away, obviously not straight down. and that was a waft or two, so that would be sinking a wee bit slower than a normal bottom bait. So again, say something to think about. But say that's us for another session. Alright, Susie. It's 4:30 and Susie's still in bed. What do you say? You've been in there all day. No, she hasn't really. She's been out chasing pigeons and magpies and all sorts. Trying to keep herself entertained. Everybody's boilies as well around the lake, no doubt. But no, all good. I say, I'm gonna go now, start getting packed up. It gives rain again tonight and tomorrow, so we'll see what the rest of the week brings. Might even try and sneak another night in before, say, this clock changes at the end of the week. But we'll see what happens. So we'll say thank you very much for watching. Remember to hit that wee subscribe button at the end here, hit the bell icon, and give us the video a wee like. I'll chat to you next time.